Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. There was a couple of marches in London on Saturday. One was the Pride Parade, the last of the Pride Parades for Pride Month. Although why they get a month, I don't know, seems very greedy. My mother only gets a day. And the other was Just Stop Oil, who seem to be in London quite a lot. We need to know who's paying them. But the Just Stop Oil were doing their very slow march against oil, although that's wonder how they got there. They're all seen on their phones, made of plastic and oil. They all got there by train or car or bike, all involving oil. They're wearing clothes, oil, glasses, oil, shoes, oil. So just stopping oil would make their life intolerable. So they are fighting a losing battle before they start. But anyway, they were coming down and they were targeting, because they did meet the Pride Parade, but this wasn't an accidental trajectory. They were deliberately targeting the Pride Parade. And they went and they stood in front of the Pride Parade and they held them up and they targeted them and they stopped the lorries. And the Pride Parade were having none of it, and they complained. And then the Just Stop Oil complained back. And before you know it, it was handbags at 30 paces. The police came along and arrested 7. But neither side were happy, and every side got a good bashing. But this is what happens when you get two opposing views. It's when the immovable object gets hit with the unstoppable force. Well, we'll take a look at this story very quickly. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it was described by my friend as Just Stop Oil meets Just Stop Puberty, which I thought summed it up. Anyway, here goes. So, Just Stop Oil protesters halt the Pride Parade. Police arrest 7 as demonstrators block the road after taking organisers to task over the sponsors they say are polluting the planet. 7 eco-zealots were arrested after 9 blocked the capital's Pride March. Now, the thing is, the police have got a very weird sense of priorities. These Eco-Loons just say no, or whatever, just stop oil, just say no. Just stop oil. They block the roads all the time in London. The police just march along, do nothing, talk to them or whatever, not arresting them. People can't get to work. Mothers can't drop children off at schools. Ambulances stuck trying to take people to hospital. Police just let it go. You stop a Pride Parade, the police are in there and arresting them straight away. Does set a precedent though. The police can now just arrest them, and the police need to just arrest these loons, and they need to go up in front of the court and be told they're getting 6 months in prison, and put them in 6 months, just straight away, 6 months, bop. They'll do 3, even so it's 3 months in prison, criminal record on your bike. Although, need oil for a bike, you know. Anyway, 7 eco-zealots have been arrested after 9 blocked the capital's Pride March amid calls for the event to condemn new oil, gas and coal. There's no alternative yet. Until you can come up with one of them, you're pretty moronic, aren't you? At around 1:25, the group sat down in front of the festival's Coca-Cola float, branding it the world's worst plastic polluter. Have they been to China yet? Accused of numerous human rights abuses. Black and pink paint was also sprayed across the road as the protesters slammed Pride for failing to address and take responsibility for its damaging relationships. Do you see this picture? Do you know how much damage that lorry would suffer if it just carried on and ran those people over? I'll tell you, none at all. Parade participants and onlookers who have travelled to the capital today were frustrated by this disruption, with some attempting to negotiate with the attention-seeking protesters as they were sat on the tarmac. I think it would have been better if you just picked them up en masse and moved them to one side. There was lots of them. There's only lots of you, 7 of them. I mean, all the LGBT people there, just pick them all up, 4 or 5 each. Off you go, arm and a leg, and then just throw them over the barriers, and away you go about your business. Anyway, that's there. So there they go. Look at them, loonies. Absolute morons. Just run them over. Nobody would care. Nobody would miss them. And there's the police arresting these tits. And look at them. They're all unemployed and unemployable. Middle class, wealthy, paid for. Just run them over. You run a few of them over, I'll tell you what, they'd never do it again. A Just Stop Oil spokesman said, Pride was born from protest. It speaks to how far we've come as a community, that high-polluting industries and the banks that fund them now see Pride as a useful vehicle for sanitising their reputations, waving rainbow flags in one hand while accelerating social collapse with the other. It's not the banks that are targeting children. But we've got more on that later. I've got an article about Metro Bank and how it is deliberately not standing up for the safety of children. But we'll keep an eye out on that. And that's a heads up on that one. So do hit the subscribe button if you want to see that. Anyway, he said it's queer people, and particularly queer people of colour in the global south, who are suffering first in this accelerating social breakdown. Is it? You got evidence of that? Sounds like you've just made that up on the spot. And it's just them fighting. It's a boring story really, because it's a bunch of narcissists. It's a bunch of narcissists being held up by a bunch of wankers. That is basically it. Why do you need a pride parade? You don't get straight people going, "Oh, look at me, I'm straight." If you're gay, be gay. Nobody cares. You've won all your rights. You don't need this big party because you're gay. Have a party because of a reason, not because of who you are. But apparently you can have a gay pride party. Let's have a straight pride party. My God, the hate would flow. But it's okay to have a straight, it's just weird how some people are special and some people aren't. But he isn't special. He's special needs. Anyway, I shall round off there and come up. So there we are. It was, of course, very reassuring to see that all the arrests by the police, all 7 arrests, were of the Just Stop Oil Eco-Loons. They're the ones that ultimately deserve it. All the trouble they've caused in London over the past, I don't know what, getting on for a year now, I suppose. And still are causing, and the inconvenience, the pain, the stopping people getting to work and hospital and things. So it was nice that they were the ones to get arrested. But of course what they do is when they're about to go and do their protest, their slow march or whatever they're doing, they always gather and wait until the police come. Because they daren't do it before the police come, because they know they started that and there was no one around to stop them, no policeman there to sort of stop it happening. They know people will be grabbing them out of vans, we're getting out of vans, grabbing them, throwing them in the vans, pummeling them a bit, driving them off, dropping them 10 miles down the road in some secluded spot, and telling them not to do it again. Now, of course, that's quite wrong, and I would never advise anyone to do that. But if they did do that, I would be completely understanding. I mean, you can almost sympathise with it. And that is why they always wait for the police to turn up. Because they need the police to protect them. Because they know what they're doing is quite plainly wrong. But the police need to arrest them every single time now. Every time. And I do think that members of the public do have a right to go about their business freely. And if someone does intentionally block you, I do believe you have the right to physically move them out of your way. How you choose to do that, of course, is your own business. You could get out, a couple of you, pick them up and move them to the side of the road. Oh, have you fallen? Oh dear, terribly sorry. Oh, look, you fell onto my boot 33 times. Terribly sorry. That kind of thing. That's why the police turn up though, isn't it? It's to stop you doing exactly what you want to. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, do please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And if you did enjoy the Pride Parade, good for you. I don't really care. I'm just annoyed at Just Stop Oil. They are complete tits, aren't they? Until next time, stay safe, stay well. Do what you do, nobody cares, and whatever you do, don't beat up a Just Stop Oil if there's a policeman watching. Bye.